And good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don hanging with you on your Saturday morning, early in the day. We welcome those of you who are joining us this morning via radio, God's Country 90.9 FM and WJHO 89.7 The Classic. And, of course, those of you viewing us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and at DrDonWX.com. It's 3:37 a.m. Central, 4:37 a.m. Eastern. And we are watching a complex of thunderstorms moving across the southeastern United States. And the thunder rolls this morning across East Alabama and West Georgia. Nothing severe across East Alabama and West Georgia at this hour, but some pretty nasty lightning coming across Talladega County, about to move into western portions of Clay County. That will continue moving to the southeast. Eventually will work its way into Randolph and northern Tallapoosa, probably down into Chambers, and then eventually into west central Georgia as well. So I just wanted to jump in here this morning and talk to you about this a little bit, and just kind of let you know it's going to be stormy here on your Saturday morning. This is probably going to continue through at least mid-morning, and maybe a little longer than that. May even make it up till around noontime before we start to get all this stuff out of here early this morning. So let me stop the radar, and then we're going to go in a little bit closer here on this line of storms coming through Talladega County. It's right there along the Talladega County, Clay County line this morning. So we are going to take a look at this, and bear with me just a moment. While I get some of my tools up and running here, I want to kind of go in here and show you where this line of storms is. So it's literally lining up now from about Sylacauga back up to almost the Anniston, Oxford area, maybe a little bit east. Basically right there where 431 intersects with I-20. So if you'll look there on the screen and give me just a moment to get that working for you. And I apologize. I should have set all this up before we went live. Okay, there you go. Now you should be able to see that red line there on the screen. So that's the leading edge of this line of heavier thunderstorms. Again, it's not severe, but you'll notice all of the lightning icons that are flashing there. That's a tremendous amount of lightning being laid down by this storm. And the lightning, because of the particular setup we have this morning, the thunder is going to be extremely loud. Earlier this morning, about 45 minutes ago, understand that I live in northeast Georgia. I was literally hearing thunder from northwest Georgia. I mean, like 75 miles away. So I could hear that thunder that far away. And that's what you folks down in Randolph County are probably hearing thunder rolling right now. And that is from these storms way over there at the Talladega County, Clay County line. And that's going to continue moving off to the east, southeast this morning. Heaviest part of this particular storm is going to be down here between Childersburg and Sylacauga this morning. I'll just put a red circle right there. You'll see that's where the heaviest lightning output is. We also have a hail marker down there, and some of these storms this morning are capable. They're elevated, so they're capable of producing some pretty heavy hail within this line of thunderstorms as it moves off to the southeast this morning. Let me go in a little bit closer here. And you can see that everywhere you see the blue and the pinks, that could be hail. I would expect it to be rather small. This is not a major hail look right here, but certainly could have some hail in there. And because we have a little bit of a hook right there, not a hook echo, But this is an indication here that we have a little bowing going on down here on the southern end of this line, so there could be some wind involved right there. The hail marker is giving us a 40% chance that we have hail in this storm, and it would be very small. I would expect this to be like pea-sized hail here, so not seeing anything that would be alarming. And we have no weather statements from the National Weather Service on this particular line of storm. So, again, let me remind you, this is below severe limits, but a lot of you are going to get rattled out of the bed when this line of storms moves through because the thunder is just crazy. With these storms this morning, it sounds like it's on top of you when it's miles away. And the closer it gets, the louder it's going to be as it moves through. I'm noticing in the chat room that folks are reporting in Randolph County that they're hearing thunder, and that's from these storms way over there along the Talladega County, Clay County line. So that verifies what I expect this morning. You're going to hear this thunder from a long way off, and it's only going to intensify as it gets closer. So let's zoom out and show you the big picture. What we have going on this morning is what's referred to as a mesoscale convective system. This is a complex of thunderstorms which becomes organized on a scale larger than the individual thunderstorms and normally persist for several hours or more. This actually formed way up in the Missouri Valley yesterday afternoon into last night and has been slowly working to the southeast throughout the overnight and early morning hours. And so now it's made it into Alabama, and it is poised to move right through East Alabama and West Georgia over the next several hours. Now, you think the lightning output is tremendous there along the Clay County, Talladega County line. Go look back up here in North Alabama. Really, it starts way back over in Mississippi, from about Tupelo, Mississippi, all the way back across North Alabama. We're just talking just copious amounts of rain. We have just gobs of thunder and lightning taking place up here. 73 lightning strikes in the last 2 minutes just along this one line of thunderstorms. And we also have some hail markers up here, too. There's a 70% chance of hail there just northeast of Warrior. All of that's moving in the general direction of East Alabama. Not saying the heaviest part of this is going to come right through our area, but it certainly is lined up to possibly do that. So what you're about to get across the area is really nothing compared to what's coming. Again, though, we're below severe limits. You'll see that the Weather Service is handling this line up here north of Warrior with special weather statements. That's what this blue dotted line is. So no severe weather watches or warnings in effect for this line of storms at the moment. But it's you know, you hear the saying, the bark is louder than the bite. That may be what we're dealing with this morning. It's going to sound and it's going to look horrendous. But these storms are below severe limits, at least for now. Could that change? Yeah, it certainly could. And so that's why we're here this morning, to watch this and write it with you, just in case this stuff decides to tick back up and we go back severe with it. We did have, and still do, but it'll be canceled here momentarily, a severe thunderstorm watch for extreme northwest Alabama. Storms are out of that area now, so that should drop off the map pretty quick. But you'll see Mississippi is continuing their severe thunderstorm warning for their portion of this line. And it's conceivable as we get closer to sunrise and the sun comes up and we start to get a little heating of the day going, we could see this watch extended back into Alabama. We'll see. But for the moment, anyway, we are below severe limits. Now, for you folks down here in South Alabama, nasty complex of thunderstorms down there around Montgomery, stretching to the south down I-65 and then also down 231 back toward Troy. Big thunderstorms rumbling down there in Alabama today. And this is where I would expect the greatest chance for severe weather to be later on this morning. Look at that storm just to the west of Andalusia. That's got some pretty significant hail right there. Look at that. That's a pretty neat-looking hail core. Well, I mean, neat from weather terms, not if you're under it. 90% chance of hail with this storm system. There's a 60% chance that we have hail at 1 inch or larger. So we may see a severe thunderstorm warning coming for that particular cell just west of Andalusia this morning. But nothing like that up here in East Alabama for the moment. We're going to watch this real close as we go throughout the remainder of the morning. And, of course, we're going to continuously give you live coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather if conditions are necessary. So let me go up here to the chat room and say good morning to you folks. And if you have questions, you're more than welcome to fire those off to me now. And pretty impressive that we have all of you in here at this time of the morning. It is when most folks are in the bed sound asleep, but you're probably getting shook out of the bed with all this thunder that's taking place out there this morning. So good morning to you, Alexandria Rose. I have been doing very well. I've been down in Savannah all week at a conference and back in the studio this morning. It's good to be back to where everything's somewhat normal. White County, Georgia, up here where I live. Yeah, we've got thunder rolling out there this morning as well. And for the moment, we're talking just some scattered showers. Let me switch over to Atlanta. And we'll take a look at North Georgia right quick. And give it just a second to populate. Maybe. All right, let's go back to the reflectivity and try. There we go. All right, so this is White County, Georgia, right here. And you can see that rain really kind of picks up over here around Dahlonega, and then it's just solid rain all the way back to the west. All of that is moving to the east, so we've got rain there on the southern half of White County. One little bitty spot right over Toccoa, and then down into Hall County, we've got some heavier showers back over toward Dawson County, Lumpkin, and then just all the way back to the Alabama state line. So it's going to be a wet Saturday morning across North Georgia. I don't see anything severe by no means, and would not really anticipate anything severe across North Georgia. If you look back in Alabama, the heaviest part of all of this is just north of Birmingham, and that's going to continue pushing off to the southeast. So the stronger storms, I think, move through the Birmingham area and then end up over here in East Alabama and West Georgia. Troop, Carroll, Hurd, Harris, Coweta, those areas of West Georgia, I think, stand the chance of seeing the heaviest of this weather this morning. But again, let me remind you, these storms are below severe limits this morning, and we're going to kind of watch and see if that were to change. We'll let you know about it right here on Dr. Don's Weather. All right, good morning, Sherman from Camp Hill, Alabama. There's Sharon. Thunder woke me up. See there, I knew it. I was sleeping good too, Sharon. Joey and Sherry Truitt, Randolph County, Alabama. There's Josh Williams. Josh was one of those that was reporting hearing that thunder in Randolph County, which was coming from Talladega County. Yeah, just hang in there, Christine. You're going to hear it if you're not hearing it currently. Lane Mitchell up in Wedowee watching us this morning. Gloria Buckner, Alexander City, Alabama. The individual storms are trucking off to the southeast pretty quick this morning. The entire complex itself is kind of slowly drifting to the south, and then the storms are racing off to the southeast. So it's going to take the better part of the morning to get this stuff completely out of here, I think. Good morning, Cassandra. Thunder in Ashland. Buxton, Alabama in the house. Good morning, Dana. Matthew, that's kind of hard to answer because, I mean, it's a, the worst of it is not severe at the moment. That could change. So to tell you that at such and such time you're going to get the worst of this storm is almost impossible to do. So I'm not even going to attempt to do that. I'll tell you that one line is coming through central Clay County right now, and that will be in Randolph County within the hour, probably in about 30 minutes. And it's below severe limits, though it's strong. It's not severe. And then we have multiple smaller storms back off to the west behind the initial line. And then we have a strong line of storms stretching from Gadsden to just north of Birmingham, and then it curves back up to the northwest to around Jasper. That'll be in here probably in about anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes or so, maybe. And again, at the moment, it's not severe, but that could change before it gets to Wedowee. So you're going to be hearing thunder and seeing lightning, and you're going to have windy conditions and the possibility of some small hail for at least the next 2 to 3 hours. And then we'll kind of have to watch and see what develops downstream as to whether this continues on through about lunchtime today. Now, for you folks down here in southern Clay, this is the heaviest part of this particular line. So heads up Millerville. If you're traveling 148 this morning from Millersville all the way back to the Talladega County line, this is a pretty decent looking storm that's probably producing some hail. 70% chance that we have hail there along 148. The algorithm is telling us a near 0% chance that it's severe. So if we have hail here, it is going to be less than 1 inch in diameter. But if you got to travel this morning from Millerville to the west on 148, I would highly suggest you hang on a minute and let this line of storms pass before you get out there on the roadway. And that's coming right down 148, headed directly toward Millerville. It should cross Highway 9 just northeast of Millerville as it races off to the east-southeast. Again, it's not severe, but there could be some small hail involved in it, maybe a little wind, and a tremendous amount of rainfall. Now, the good part is the rain's not going to last that long. This particular cell's moving on off to the east pretty fast. So the rain it'll be intense for just a few minutes and then it's gone. And we zoom back out. You can see that line of storms will continue on up to the northeast, all the way back up to I-20. So we've got the same scenario unfolding now across southern Cleburne, northwest Randolph, northeast Clay, right down through Lineville, Ashland, and ending up down here around Millerville with the heaviest part of this storm right there at Millerville. And then some pretty good thunder and lightning taking place near Lineville this morning also. Yeah, Lynette, it's pretty interesting because that thunder that you're hearing is most likely coming from these storms way up here in Clay County. And that's what I've been telling you guys this morning. I'm hearing thunder 70 miles away or so up here in North Georgia with the particular setup as we have it this morning. That sound is traveling a very long way, and these thunderstorms are putting out some pretty intense lightning this morning. So you're hearing that thunder from a long way off. Skyler reporting that he's hearing some loud thunder, too. He's on County Road 43 in Wadley. I got you. I know where you're at. 43 is really big time on my radar. I'll zoom out just a little bit so you can kind of see the whole deal this morning. Again, this is a heavy storm coming through Clay County, especially central and southern Clay. But I want you to look back up here to the northwest from Gadsden to just north of Birmingham, back up to around Brilliant. That's a pretty intense line of storms right there. We are not receiving any severe weather bulletins from the Weather Service on this particular line of storms. We are getting special weather statements. And so what, a lot of folks ask the question, what does a special weather statement mean? Well, it's bringing your attention to the fact that this is a strong thunderstorm, but it is below severe limit. So here's how it works. You get a special weather statement first, and then if it intensifies, then you will get a severe thunderstorm warning. So a special weather statement is notice that there is a strong storm, but it's below severe limits. And then once it hits that threshold for severe, they'll upgrade that special weather statement to a severe thunderstorm warning. You got to have hail at least 1 inch in diameter, winds of 58 miles per hour or greater to meet the criteria for severe thunderstorm. The lightning, unfortunately, is not one of the criteria the National Weather Service uses to determine whether or not a storm is severe. In my opinion, it should be. And there has been some talk of adding that piece of criteria to determining whether or not they're going to issue a severe thunderstorm for warning. But so far, they haven't done that. So our hail marker down here in southern Clay now showing 80% chance of hail at about a 1/2 inch in diameter. And that's going to be about marble, anywhere from pea-sized to marble-sized hail with this storm near Millerville this morning. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate your kind words. Now, I know we got lots of folks down here around Millerville that follow us here on Dr. Don's Weather, so if there's anybody in the house this morning that can confirm whether or not we're actually getting some hail on the ground down there, it sure would be nice. So if you're listening to us and you're in that area of Clay County, let us know whether you see any hail down there or not. Now, let me give you some heads up. We're talking Harkins Crossroads. You may get on the get in on the north end of the heaviest part of this cell that maybe has some hail involved in it, but most of it's going to stay south of you. Bluff Springs, you may have to deal with this. Certainly over here where 49 and 77 intersect, just to the south of Shiloh or to the north and west of Cooley Crossroads. I think this part of the storm's headed in that general direction. Let me kind of show you where I think it's going to go. I believe it's going to move something like so. So it should end up over here in Randolph County, just south of Malone and north of Wadley. So that would be the general direction. And again, where you see the pinks and the blues, where I just put that circle on the map, that's where I would anticipate the hail to be this morning. That would be the strongest part of this storm. If you're just joining us, Dr. Don with you on your Saturday morning. It is 4 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Eastern, and we are watching a Mesoscale Convective System, MCS. Basically, it's a big complex of thunderstorms move through East Alabama, and then eventually into Georgia. And we are just now beginning to see the leading edge of all this stuff kind of move into East Alabama and West Georgia. Nothing severe, no weather watches or warnings this morning, but these storms are on the strong side. And I know that some of you are getting rocked out of the bed this morning with all this thunder and lightning that's taking place out there. So thought we would jump in here and give you some coverage this morning. You have travel plans this morning. If you can hold off until early afternoon, you'll be in a much better situation. It's going to be a nasty ride if you're going anywhere north, or in either direction on I-20. I mean, the heavier storms will be back to the west, back toward Birmingham. But I-20 is going to be just a mess this morning if you're coming back toward Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta's a mess anytime. We were in Savannah all week last week for a conference. Came home yesterday, and I told producer Tracy, I'm like, it's Good Friday. A lot of folks have the day off. Surely the traffic will be in good shape in Atlanta. I was wrong about that. I think it had the reverse effect. I think everybody and their brother was traveling yesterday because they were off. And I-75 from, I don't know, about McDonough north into Atlanta was just a nightmare yesterday. I mean, where were these people going? They should have been somewhere already, not in front of me. It took us forever to get through Atlanta yesterday afternoon. So Atlanta's a mess pretty much any time now, and you add this rain in on top of it this morning. So if you got plans headed over to hot Atlanta this morning, it's going to be a nasty ride. You throw this rain in on top of it. Same thing for Birmingham. I mean, very heavy rainfall in Birmingham Metro this morning. Not so bad to the south, unless you're going down there south of Montgomery. You're going to get into some stuff. And we think all of this will continue at least through mid-morning. And depending on what develops back upstream, we could see showers and thunderstorms hang in there till around noon today. We'll see. I'm pretty confident through 8 or 9 a.m. this morning. After that, low confidence on whether we continue to deal with rain and thunderstorms this morning. I mean, it appears right now that, let me switch over, let me take that off and go back to the composite because that gives you a complete coverage area here, and zoom out. I mean, you see, the problem we've got is, and that may be more of a tomorrow eve or tonight, this stuff back to the east of Oklahoma City. That's another mesoscale convective system that's going to be, and we're going to have 2 or 3 of these kind of come out of the northwest over the next day or so. So we're going to be dealing with this on and off throughout the entire Easter weekend. But for the moment, we're not seeing a whole lot of redevelopment up here around Memphis, and that's where we would want to watch to see just how long this stuff's going to continue today. But, if this stuff is moving to the southeast and it lines up just right, we may have to get all of this stuff way back into Mississippi out of here before we're done, which could take a little longer than 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. It may be noon or 1 o'clock before we completely get this stuff out of here. Yes, the thunder is extremely loud this morning. It's not that it's any more significant than it normally is. It's the weather setup that we have this morning. The atmosphere is very moist, and the cloud deck is very low, so the sound is traveling a long way, and it's loud. And that's primarily why I'm here this morning. I'm not here because we have tornadoes or severe weather. I'm here because you're getting rocked out of the bed and you want to know what the heck's going on out there because it's loud. So that's primarily why we're here this morning. You folks over in Randolph County, I mean, you're hearing thunder from south central Clay and a little thunder beginning to be produced up there around Lake Wedowee and in southwest Randolph. But most of what you're hearing is coming from that storm cell over there in southern Clay County. And the way this is lining up now, let me give you some. See if we can get. this is going to move in this general direction. And we're talking about the heaviest part of this. Now, you'll notice the line continues well up toward Wedowee. So, yeah, Wedowee, all of Randolph County, you're going to get some heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds and thunder and lightning here. But we're talking about the heaviest part of this storm, which is south of Ashland in Clay County, the part that may be containing some small hail this morning. Is going to move off to the southeast. So it should move right over Daviston. Wadley, you may catch part of this. Then it's going to move right over Miss Mary's house down here at Frog Eye. And then right on across northern and central Clay and, Chambers, and maybe end up down here around Lynette, West Point, and Valley. Report of some power outages up in Jacksonville. Nothing severe up there. You got that line that's just now coming into Jacksonville. But I don't see anything of any great significance there. We don't have any severe weather anywhere. These storms are below severe limits this morning, but they are strong. And they're laying down a good bit of thunder and lightning, and it's extremely loud. Yeah, and it's not that uncommon to have storms on Easter weekend. I mean, I can remember some of the biggest severe events we've ever had across the Southeast were, during the week of Easter or Easter weekend. I mean, we're right in the prime time for severe weather across the Southeast. We should, and I say that loosely, start to see a gradual decrease in severe weather events moving forward, because we're last week was pretty much the peak, right in the middle of the severe weather, the primary severe weather season. So we should start to see these events come a little less often now as we move forward. And this is just the first thunderstorm complex for the weekend. We've got several opportunities, and unfortunately, we have a couple of opportunities to see this tomorrow as well. I think we're okay for sunrise service tomorrow morning, and then we'll see a stronger thunderstorm complex tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. So I'm not sure how much we see tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to do sunrise service without any issues, and we may even make it through noon or early afternoon before we start to see any strong storms tomorrow. We'll refine that as we go throughout the day today. Yeah, and folks, understand that all that red is telling you is that's very heavy rainfall. It's showing you the density of the liquid in the clouds. That's all it's telling you. A radar can't tell you how bad a storm is going to be in and of itself. What it's showing you is the density of the water droplets in the cloud. Now, we can take other things that we're seeing, and then we can give you a good idea that it's going to be severe because of other things the radar's telling us. And the computer algorithm looks at all of that different stuff and comes up with a good depiction of how severe the storm is. But just because you're seeing red on the radar, it does typically mean that you have a strong thunderstorm because the rain droplets are so dense. And then when you start to see those pinks and blues, and even if you get up into some white, that's telling you that you're getting almost 100% return back to the radar. Radar sends out a radio signal, and when it hits something, it comes back to the radar transmitter, and the radar transmitter then receives it back. And it depends on how much of that signal the radar sight receives as to the different shades of colors you see here on the screen. So if the wind is swirling and the radar picks up on the fact that the rain droplets are moving in a circular motion, then that's telling us there's rotation in that storm. If it's coming back in the pink and blue and white color palette, then it's telling us that the raindrop, the density of the rain is very, very solid. So that's more of an indication that we have hail. And that's why you're seeing the pinks and the blues and the darker colors right there just south of Gibsonville and just to the north of Mountain Community, because we probably have some hail going on right there. 80% chance that we have some hail in this storm. There is a 20% chance that hail may be severe. That's right, Pee Wee. It means crazy rain, crazy rain. But often folks look at it and they see all the dark reds and they go, "Oh my gosh, that's going to just be the end of the world." And so, yes, sometimes that is true, but understand what it's telling you is the different shades and the different colors is the different. Is the density within that storm. It's the amount of precipitation in most cases. Red's not good. I'll agree with you on that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the storm is severe. It just means there's a ton of rain in that thing. Pee Wee's right. Now, I don't want to say that too loud because, his old head's swole up enough as it is. And if you start agreeing with him and telling him he is correct, it just gets worse. Mr. Awesome. Ashley's watching us this morning from Woodland. Sherry Daniel is watching us from LaGrange. Good morning, Miss Deborah. Good to see you in here this morning. Heather's up in Cragford. Things should be a little bit better up there in Cragford than it was about 15 minutes ago. Jennifer's watching us in Wedowee. Deborah Gilmore's watching us in Wedowee. So if you're just joining us this morning, Dr. Don with you at 4:15 a.m. Central, 5:15 a.m. Eastern. We are doing live severe weather coverage this morning, not because we have severe weather out there, but because we have several different thunderstorms moving across Alabama this morning that is putting a lot of thunder and lightning out there, and it's very loud. It's rocking folks out of bed. So just wanted to hang in here with you for a little while and kind of tell you there's nothing to worry about at the moment other than the lightning. That is certainly a concern. But we don't have any severe weather watches or warnings in play at the moment. We have one heavy thunderstorm complex there in south central and southeastern Clay. And then it stretches back up to around Wedowee, and then just moderate rainfall across northeast Randolph and up into Cleburne and Carroll. And then if you look upstream, yet to come, we have several different areas of thunderstorm activity there just to the east of Alabaster and southeast of Birmingham that will move into East Alabama. And then the main line of storms associated with this complex stretching from about Jasper back into North Birmingham and then right out I-20 to around Pell City and then back up over to around Jacksonville. And the Weather Service handling this with special weather statements this morning, which is good. No severe weather watches or warnings in effect at this hour for these thunderstorms. And we'll take a look down here to the south as well because we're beginning to see some storms down in Tallapoosa County. And that's stretching up to 280 So Camp Hill, heads up. You've got one lone cell that's coming at you from your southwest. And then that stretches down across I-85 and almost down to Troy, Alabama. And then we have some heavy storms down here around Andalusia and back toward Monroeville in southwest Alabama. This is where I think southwest Alabama stands the best chance at seeing severe weather later on today with this complex of thunderstorms. That's where the air is at its that's where the atmosphere is most ripe for severe weather this morning. Thank you, Kay Branch. Appreciate your kind words. Michelle Bonner, thunder rattling the house over here at Foster's Crossroads in Wedowee. Absolutely. That's correct, Whitney. That's primarily why I'm here this morning, because look, I was hearing thunder over 75 miles away from my house this morning about an hour ago. And this happens a couple of times every year during severe weather season where the atmosphere sets up just right where you can hear thunder rolling from miles and miles and miles away because of the type of atmosphere that we have set up. So, and I said this earlier, it's kind of like maybe the bark is worse than the bite. I'm not saying that we couldn't have severe weather this morning. We certainly could. At the moment, everything's below severe limits. But it sounds and looks a lot worse than it may actually be at the moment. This could change at any moment, but for now, this thunder's pretty ferocious, and it's just really, really loud. Tin Shop is awake this morning due to the loud thunder. And Woodland, Alabama's in the house. So for you folks across Clay and Randolph, down into Tallapoosa and Chambers, I suspect you folks in Heard County and maybe even Troop, you're hearing a lot of thunder this morning. And it's coming from this thunderstorm complex over here in southern and southeastern Clay County, Alabama. We are getting a few strikes now just to the west of downtown Wedowee. But this is primarily the strongest part of this line of storms, and it continues to slide off to the east-southeast. So heads up, Wadley, Southern Union, Corinth, Malone. I think this is going to slide right across southwest Randolph County. May end up. It will affect southeast Clay, southwest Randolph, northeast Tallapoosa, northwest Chambers. And we'll see, Roanoke. You may end up getting this as well. It's taken on more of an easterly motion than easterly. No, Jennifer, I don't think it's an all-day event, though we will maintain a chance of showers and thunderstorms. I think the percentages will drop off drastically after about noon today. Probably it's going to take 8 or 9 a.m. this morning before we get this first round out of here. Though a few scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible through about noon or 1 o'clock. And then I think we'll see. I think we'll see it calm down this afternoon. And but then we have a chance during the overnight again tonight, and then a more decent chance tomorrow afternoon into Sunday night. So I don't think it's going to be stormy like this all day today. I think the best window of opportunity is through mid-morning, but that window does not completely close. Well, it doesn't completely close all day, but let's say the window's wide open until 9 a.m. It's 3/4 of the way open from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., and then the window's just cracked from about 1 p.m. through the remainder of the day, if that makes sense. Had to put it in simple terms so Pee-wee could understand what we're talking about here. Mr. Awesome. Good morning, Wind Creek, Jimmy. Yeah, I don't see anything headed for the Wind Creek area of concern. Now, you're seeing a tremendous amount of lightning. If you look back up toward Alexander City, up on the north end of the lake, you're seeing a lot of lightning up there. But I believe that's going to stay to your north and east as it slides off to the east, southeast. So, Jimmy, I would be at this point, if you're camping in a camper on Wind Creek, I would be looking back over here toward Alabaster, back toward Clanton. This stuff just south of Birmingham is probably what's going to end up coming across Lake Martin this morning. And then further upstream, the really heavy stuff is just north of Birmingham now, coming through Birmingham Metro. That will end up down here, but it's going to be a minute before it gets there. Good morning, Dadeville. Good to see you, William. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Tracy. Producer Tracy spells her name Traci as well. Hey, Wanda, send me a message on Messenger. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer got my back. She got it going on this morning. Thank you. Kivo, lightning just loves me and my neighbor's yard. That's unfortunate because that's, lightning's a scary thing. You guys know I'm a weather geek, or I wouldn't be doing this, and weather doesn't scare me. But lightning's the one thing that I don't like. Thanks, Wanda. Look forward to hearing from you. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Anna. Anna says it's lightning pretty good there in Wadley, in the Wadley, Alban, Malone area. Yep, that's coming from this cell over here in southern Clay County. This is where the bulk of the lightning is this morning. And it's sliding in this general direction, maybe a little more east than southeast. These mesoscale complexes like this, or MCS storm systems, are really they're hard to predict because they just get all spun up. I mean, you have the overall system is one big huge thunderstorm, really, and then you have individual pieces of that some of them are stronger than others. But they can change directions. I mean, it's all generally moving to the south-southeast, but the individual storms can race off to the east and then take on more of a southerly motion. And looks like this piece of energy wants to move more east-southeast than southeast, than east-south. It wants to move more east than south, is what Don's trying to say. So I'm going to put this over into southwest Randolph County in the next 30 minutes or so, probably 15 minutes or so. Oh, so Tracy, you're in Omaha, Arkansas. Go back to the composite. I'm not sure exactly where. Hang on, let me figure that out right quick. All right, so Omaha, Arkansas. Omaha, Arkansas is in the northern part of the state, just south of the Missouri state line. Let's see here. Going to be northeast of Fayetteville, Arkansas. So it's way up there on the north end of the state, just south of Branson, Missouri. So we know where that's at now. Yeah, well, Tracy, if you're wanting to have a thunderstorm, you're probably going to need to go down to around the I-40 corridor. Even though there is a pretty good thunderstorm near Fayetteville moving to the northeast, which would be in your general direction, I'm not really sure it's going to make it that far over to you. The best part of that storm moving through Arkansas is near Fort Smith and to the southeast or just to the west of Little Rock, and it's moving east-southeast. So, yeah, that's what's happening up in Arkansas this morning. Well, that's cool, Celia. We'll watch it together. We'll be weather geeks together here. Now, bear with me. I'm trying to get... that off the screen there. I'm not sure where that came from. All right, so bear with me just a second. We're going to have to reset. All right, so let's go back down here to this Randolph Chambers storm. Just south of Wadley. That's where the heaviest part of it is. So we got rain breaking out now in Roanoke, all the way out Highway 22. Just a downpour this morning. But the part of the storm that might be containing some hail should be right there along the Randolph County, Chambers County line, about to move into the Abanda community. Let me go down a little closer for you. So right there along Highway 77 from just north of Milltown up to around Abanda or just inside Randolph County, right there at 22 and 77. That's where the hail would be this morning. Yeah, and just with the new volume scan now, it's crossing over 77 along and just south of Abanda. So you folks down here in Milltown, you've got some heavy rain about to move. Yeah, it's not going to last long at all. I mean, it's just going to come blowing through. And you're going to see that hail core move over you, and it won't last long at all. Yeah, Abanda, the hail has moved off to your east. I mean, it's just that quick. Clarksville, heads up. Rain's going to start here. Already has. And then the possibility of some small hail here in just the next few minutes or so. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate that report. We zoom back out, and you got rain up here in Wedowee. You got rain all the way over here to Big Springs and Randolph County. It's raining up there at Pine Hill, all the way over to Graham. Bucktown's getting some rain. It's raining over here in northern Heard County from Franklin North, Carroll County, raining over here in Noonan. Well, we're watching this one cell down here just to the south of Dickert, Alabama, near Abanda. Stretching down to around Milltown as it moves off to the east with a little bit of a southern component to it. So it's primarily east, southeast. So I think it's going to stay. The heaviest part of it now should stay in Chambers County as it moves off to the east. Heads up Clarksville, heads up Doublehead, heads up Stroud. And if it holds together over here at Standing Rock. Also, our friends down here at Pennon, 5 points. Well, Pennon's back over here, but if it holds together, 5 points. We're talking Welch, all the way down to 5 points. Up to Stroud, Standing Rock, Welch, maybe McCosh's Mill. It's not severe, but there is a tremendous amount of lightning, and there may be some hail involved in this storm as well. Zoom back out and show you what else is going on now. We have another area of storms just moved through the Auburn-Opelika area, stretching up into southern Chambers County, right there along I-85. So Lynette, West Point Valley, Hughley, Lake Harding, Casita. Yeah, you got the north end of this southern storm moving in your general direction. It stays south of Lafayette. Down to Beans Mill in Lee County, Beauregard, heavy rain there. Not a tremendous amount of lightning output with this southern storm. Most of the lightning is up here with the cell coming through northern Chambers County. 90% chance we do have hail. Only a 20% chance that it is severe. Radar is estimating the size of hail within this storm at a ½ inch. Got to get to 1 inch to get a severe thunderstorm warning. Beginning to see more showers and thunderstorms back over in Coosa County, northwest Tallapoosa County, up into Clay County. You folks that just dealt with this thing over in Chambers, you got more heavy rain coming in with some thunder and lightning, but there are no hail markers there now. Then as we go back upstream, back to the northwest, you see that it's going to take a minute to get all of this out of here this morning. The good thing I've noticed, though, this line is not, it's not one solid line anymore. We're getting to see some breaks in it. And we have lost that special weather statement that the Weather Service had issued for Jefferson County, and they did not reissue it. So that's a sign that the storms may be weakening a little bit this morning. So let me go back out and show you the big picture. This is, all you can see here is the Birmingham Radar. So there's more stuff out there than what you're seeing. But I want to tell you that looking at this, and it's updating as I speak, looking at this particular shot, there are no watches or warnings that affect anywhere across Alabama or Georgia this morning. Just looking down south to make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, I don't even see anything down there. So that's the good thing. All of this is below severe limits. You got to be strong when it moves through. But we don't have anything severe out there at the moment. All right, so Pamela is reporting that there was some small hail in Dickert. It's just pouring rain there now. And that coincides with what we're looking at on radar very well. Thanks for that report, Pamela. Put it in motion, you can kind of get a general sense of the direction that it's moving. It came out of central Clay and then kind of hooked a little bit to the right and took more of a southerly motion. Ran right down parallel to 77, and now it's down here in northern Chambers County. And that hail core looks like it may be getting a little larger. Let me back up a frame or two. Yeah. And it looks like it's fluctuating too. I mean, it goes away. See, it was completely gone on that scan. And a couple of volume scans later, it comes back. So it's pulsating. It'll go big and then it'll weaken, then it'll come back. And so that's what it looks like currently. It's between Milltown and Doublehead. This is hail, folks. That's all we're saying here. It is below severe limits. And so if you look real close, you'll see that blue. And so what the radar is telling us is that the algorithm for the program is suggesting that if there is hail within this storm, it's less than 1/2 inch in diameter. Of course, the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning is 1 inch. So we're well below severe limits, and this storm is moving in this general direction. Maybe something like so. So that would put, if it stays just like it is right now, that would put some small hail right over 5 points in the next 5 minutes or so. And then also Stroud, the hail core may stay south of Standing Rock. It just depends. I mean, it's been fluctuating. It'll grow in size, and then it'll dissipate, and then here it comes again. So if you're anywhere across northern or northeastern Chambers County, you want to keep an eye on this. I'm going to step aside for just a second. I'm going to leave the feed up. I'm going to leave the radar up, but I'm going to take about a 3 or 4 minute break. So you folks stay with me. Our coverage will continue here on Dr. Don's Weather. Good morning, folks. Dr. Don back in here with you. It is coming up on 4:48 a.m. Central, 5:48 a.m. Eastern. And we are here with you this morning because you are being shook out of the bed with heavy thunder and lightning out there this morning. Nothing severe, but some of the individual thunderstorms are a little bit on the strong side. So we just wanted to come in here and hang with you for a little bit this morning and kind of bring you up to date on what is taking place and what we expect to happen throughout the remainder of the morning across our primary coverage areas of East Alabama and West Georgia. So we are looking at the current radar return from the radar site there at the Shelby County Airport in Birmingham. And we have that initial line just moved through the 5 Points area down there near the East Alabama Bee Company. Mr. Jeff Monroe, our brand new partner here on Dr. Don's Weather. We appreciate Mr. Jeff. And a lot of cool stuff going on down there at his farm in 5 Points, and we are going to be spending a lot of time with him. One of the things he does, of course, he is a beekeeper. He has beehives all over the southeast, and that's something I have always been fascinated by, and I'm going to get into that business. And he's going to lead me and show me how to do that, and we're going to document all of this on video, and we're going to share that with you here on Dr. Don's Weather in the coming weeks and months. Pretty cool stuff, and we appreciate Mr. Jeff coming on board with us here and being one of our partners. That's East Alabama Bee Company. His information, there it is, right there on the screen, 256-872-1113 is the phone number if you need to get some more queen bees, or if you need some honey, he's the man to talk to. All right, so here's what we're looking at this morning. That initial line is stretching from about Standing Rock down to an area between 5 Points and Holiday Park, and then it kind of curves back to the southwest to near or just north of Lafayette there on Highway 431. So that's going to quickly push on out of Chambers County into Troup County, Georgia. Highway 109 from Welch all the way into the great state of Georgia is going to be a nasty ride over the next 30 minutes or so. So you folks in LaGrange, you just have light rain right now, but you're seeing some lightning off to your west, and that is headed your way. Maybe some really small hail involved with this line of storms, but it doesn't look as significant as it did about 30 minutes or so ago. As I zoom out, kind of give you a look at the overall picture, we have a mesoscale convective system, which is a complex of thunderstorms. This area really developed up in the Missouri Valley late yesterday afternoon, last night, and has slowly worked its way to the south and southeast and has moved into Alabama this morning. And you can see a lot of rain, and in some areas, a lot of thunder and lightning, and maybe even some small hail with some of the individual storms as they move across Alabama. The good news here this morning is that we have no severe weather watches or warnings in effect. So we're talking about some good old summertime early morning thunderstorms across East Alabama and West Georgia. I think it will probably take till around 8 or 9 a.m. to get the bulk of this out of here. And then we'll maintain at least a chance of showers through noon. I think by noon or 1 p.m. this afternoon, we'll see all of this come to a complete end. And then we'll see more showers and thunderstorms in here tonight, maybe lingering into pre-dawn hours of Sunday morning. I think Easter sunrise services will be okay. It's going to be a close call. And then we're okay through most of the day on Easter Sunday. And then we'll have another MCS come through tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, which may bring us more showers and thunderstorms across Alabama and Georgia. So that's kind of what we're looking at this morning. So I'm going to take the radar back down to regional level there across East Alabama and West Georgia so you can kind of see what's going on this morning. In East Alabama and West Georgia, no question that the heaviest of the thunderstorm activity that's ongoing right now is this area down here in Chambers County, right along the Alabama-Georgia state line. And it is moving in this general direction. So rain rates will start to pick up now in downtown LaGrange. You folks who are over on West Point Lake for the Easter weekend, getting hammered with some pretty heavy rainfall right now. I'm going to go back up to the board. Sherry, no, I don't think this is an all-day event. I think we get the bulk of it out of here by mid-morning, and then we'll maintain a chance of a scattered shower through noon. I think this afternoon will be okay. So Damien's reporting some pretty intense lightning there in Lineville. It's not showing on the lightning detector. There is some lightning back over there along the Shelby County, Talladega County line, which could certainly be heard and seen this morning from Lineville. You got some lightning up there around Mount Cheehaw that you could certainly see and hear from Lineville. And then several strikes down here in Chilton County as well, and then that stuff that's moving into Georgia out of Chambers County. Miss Cecilia there at Newman Farms in Pennon, Alabama, another one of our supporters here on Dr. Don's Weather, reporting strong gust of wind this morning. And she's reporting that she can see some pretty intense lightning back toward 5 points. That's that storm cell system moving into Georgia now out of eastern Chambers County. Tracy's joining us this morning from Omaha, Arkansas. And she's talking about the great tornado outbreak in 1999. I was at a conference this week in Savannah, Georgia, and we had representatives there from the Kentucky tornado outbreak. Mayfield, Kentucky. You'll remember that was back in January. And it was pretty fascinating hearing them talk about their event and how they managed to recover from that. They still haven't completely recovered from it, but if you guys were watching my coverage that night, because we had severe weather here in Alabama and Georgia as well, you'll remember I was really irritated that candle factory in Mayfield had folks still inside working when that tornado hit, because the tornado actually formed back in Arkansas, Benton, Arkansas, I believe, if I remember correctly. So they had just almost 2 hours warning that this thing was coming before it ever got there, and they still had folks inside that candle factory. And I was just riding my soapbox big time that night because that didn't have to happen the way it did. And it was interesting hearing the officials from Kentucky talk about that. And it's just amazing that they didn't have more fatalities than they did there at that candle factory, because it was an open span building and just collapsed right on top of them. Confirmation of the heavy rain and storms that just moved through the 5 Points area. Thanks, Catherine. And Elizabeth is reporting lightning at State Line. So here's the plan. It is 4:57. We're going to hang in here with you for another 5 minutes or so. I just wanted to be on when folks started waking up this morning so I could let you know what you're looking at, because I know everybody's going to be asking questions about the weather, because we have a lot of thunder and lightning across the area. just wanted to let everybody know that at least for the moment, we have no severe weather watches or warnings across East Alabama and West Georgia. We do have a lot of rain, and in some areas, we have a lot of thunder and lightning. It seems to be on the leading edge down here in southern Randolph, Tallapoosa, Chambers, back over into Troup County, and then back up toward Birmingham. We have a good bit of thunder and lightning taking place this morning also. But at the moment, nothing severe. We have lost all of our severe thunderstorm warnings that we had earlier this morning up in northwest Alabama. The Weather Service then started handling all of this with special weather statements, and so far they've stopped issuing special weather statements on it as well. So that's all an indication that these storms are behaving this morning as they move off to the south or to the east, southeast. Pretty good clip. Diane Crawford watching us from the peanut country down there in southeast Alabama, the Wiregrass area of Dothan. Says that she's going to be headed toward Lafayette in about an hour. She'll be running right up 431. Yeah, it's going to be a wet ride for you. Again, though, there's nothing severe out there. We have that one thunderstorm complex about to move through Eufaula. That should be out of the way before you get up there. There are some more storms south of Troy, back over there around Andalusia. And then some showers moving through Enterprise this morning. But nothing severe down here in southeast Alabama. We did have a strong storm near Andalusia earlier. Switch to the Enterprise radar so you can get a better look at what's happening down here in southeast Alabama. There you go. So yeah, you got a small line of storms south of Troy stretching back to just west of Andalusia, and then that stuff moving through Eufaula stretches all the way up to Columbus. But if you're leaving in about an hour, by the time you get up there, that should be well into Georgia. But then about the time you get to Columbus, you're going to start to interact with this stuff coming down from the northwest. Then you'll be in that all the way up here to Lynette. But again, nothing severe out there at the moment. Just be weather aware if you're going to be traveling this morning. Well, you're more than welcome. You down there in my part of the world. I lived in Dothan for several years. Enterprise, Daleville. They just worked at the radio station just south of Fort Rucker. Used to be, what was it, US 100? Was that what it was? Can't remember now. It was in the early 90s when that station went on the air. Of course, I was over in Enterprise in the mid-'80s, WLHQ, WIRB. And then also worked for WTVY in Dothan for a couple of years in the mid-'80s. So I've done my time down there on the Ross Clark Circle. Erica Mann says it just rolled her right out of bed this morning. See, that's why I'm here, Erica. I knew that's what was going to happen. So that's why I wanted to be on with you this morning, just kind of let you know what was going on when you got bounced out of the bed by the thunder and lightning early this Saturday morning. But, yeah, the good news here is there's nothing severe out there. Just a good old thunderstorm for you to start your Easter weekend. Yeah, that's a beautiful part of Alabama, YN. I like I said, spent, I don't know, I guess altogether, I was down there twice. first time in the mid 80s, and then back in the early 90s for several years. Cool part about being in Dothan, Alabama is you're only an hour and a half from the beach. That's good. That part I miss. And of course, I miss the Peanut Festival. That was always a lot of fun down there. All right, folks, so we're coming up on 5:03 a.m. Central, 6:03 a.m. Eastern. And let's see, I'm going to take you to about 10 minutes after the hour. And then I'm going to step aside. I'll continue to watch this, and I'll post updates on Facebook and on Twitter. And then if we were to have anything severe, I'll come right back with you, and then I'll come back from time to time and give you updates as we go throughout the morning, kind of keep you updated on what's taking place with all of this. But again, we're not looking at anything severe, at least not for the moment. There is the potential that could change, though I got to tell you the chance of seeing anything severe this morning is pretty slim, but it's not zero. So we're going to keep an eye on this storm system as it continues to move through East Alabama and West Georgia. I would anticipate that we will probably be done with the bulk of this by 8 or 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we'll maintain a chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm through about noon. And then I would think after about 1 p.m., that chance of a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, again, won't be zero, but it'll be less than a 20% chance after about 1 p.m. today. Then we'll have another complex move through this evening. I'm thinking and hoping it's gone before we have sunrise service tomorrow morning for Easter Sunday. And then I think the rest of the day is going to be pretty nice. And yet another storm system in here late tomorrow afternoon into the overnight hours, Sunday night, maybe into the wee hours of Monday morning. We are poised to bring you complete coverage of all of this if conditions warrant as we head throughout the next 24 to 48 hours. The green triangle in Coosa County that just went away is a hail marker. It's the computer algorithm telling us that it thinks that there may be some hail in this particular storm. And so I would say to you that if there is any hail in this storm in Coosa County, it's going to be right there along 231 and maybe to the northeast of 231. Just north of Hyssop and to the northeast of Kelly Crossroads. Everywhere you see that little dot of pink, that could be very small hail. We're talking pea-size hail or smaller. So that's what the green triangle is telling us, that the computer is suggesting that there may be some small hail within this line of storms that's in the process of crossing 231 there. Between Kelly Crossroads and Hanover. Yes, Miss Cecilia, that line coming through Tallapoosa from about Dadeville up to the Chambers County, Tallapoosa County line, up there around Daviston, Budston. Yes, that is moving to the east. And it will move into Chambers County. And there's Pennon right there on 77 there at the Newman Farms. And so it looks like, you're going to get the north end of this, probably a little bit heavier down there around Budston. It's moving off to the east. So I think maybe the heaviest part of that will stay a little bit south of you. But, again, it's not severe. It's just some heavy rainfall, maybe a little gusty wind as it moves through. Don't even see a lot of lightning with that particular line. I had just got one strike up there near Wadley, and there comes another one just south of Budston. So only 2 to 3 strikes in the last 2 to 3 minutes out of this line of thunderstorms that's moving in your general direction. The storm in Coosa County will move right over Alexander City. Yes, it will. Again, the lightning output over here not very significant right now. Only about looking at that particular cell, only one strike in the last 2 to 3 minutes. Now, you're probably going to be hearing lightning from this storm that's way over in Chambers County, but the most current strike there in Coosa County, just one, just south of 280, just to the northeast of Hyssop. And that's the part of the storm that'll move right over Alexander City. So you do have some pretty intense rain coming your way, maybe even some small hail. Well, thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate you. And again, we're just talking about scattered showers and thunderstorms across East Alabama. Nothing severe this morning. The heavier, more intense storms are back over toward Birmingham, and even those storms are below severe limits. And we do have a mesoscale marker down here in Troup County. You see that little symbol right there that's turning in a circular motion. That's a mesoscale detection. What that's doing is it's showing some rotation within the storm. You'll notice this storm has got a little bit of a bow down here on the bottom, and then we have a little inflow notch up here. Now, all thunderstorms rotate, or they would not be considered thunderstorms. So that's not unusual. I mean, actually, it's very common to see a mesoscale detected in a thunderstorm. That's one indication you look at when you're determining whether or not there's a tornado involved in the storm, but there are many other things that you look at, and this storm is not producing any of those other sets of criteria that you need to start screaming about a tornado. And see, that mesoscale just went away. So nothing to be concerned about at all right there. That's just a good old thunderstorm. The atmosphere is not conducive for tornadoes this morning. I mean, anytime you have a thunderstorm, you can't say that there is a zero chance you could have a tornado. There's always that chance. But the atmosphere not very conducive for tornadoes, and really at the moment not very conducive for severe weather. But if anything, we could see some brief heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, some small hail, and of course the glaring message this radar screen's giving us is lightning. Lots of lightning, and it's extremely loud. It's louder than normal this morning because of the type of setup that we have. Cloud deck's low. It rumbles forever, and it's very intense, or at least it sounds very intense. You can hear thunder rolling from miles and miles away. And so that's primarily why I'm here this morning, because I knew that a lot of you are going to get rumbled out of bed, and you're going to be looking, well, what in the world is going on? And this is it. We have a mesoscale convective system, which is a big, huge thunderstorm complex with individual heavier cells that formed over the Missouri Valley last night and has been slowly moving to the south and southeast during the overnight hours. And good morning. Here it is. It's in East Alabama and West Georgia, bringing us some pretty intense rainfall and some horrible sounding thunder and lightning. So, and I've had several people message me this morning who are camping, and I know it's a holiday weekend, so a lot of folks are out there camping this morning. Be weather aware. Make sure you have a safe place to go in the event that threatening weather approaches your campground. Make sure you know where that is. Obviously, staying in a trailer or a tent is not an option during severe weather. Most campgrounds have a bathhouse. If you have no other options, then that's where you should go. Don't stay in those camping trailers or RVs or tents. That's just not adequate protection. And here's the thing, folks. Most campgrounds have trees. In East Alabama and West Georgia, those are pine trees, and they do not stand up to strong winds very well. And so those trees come down, and your RV, your fifth wheel, your tent is no match for a southern pine. It won't protect you. So make sure you have a place to evacuate to if a severe weather warning is issued for the area that you're camping in this morning or throughout the remainder of this weekend, because this is just the first of a couple of 2 or 3 different opportunities we're going to have for strong thunderstorms between now and Sunday night. Jacksonville is okay. We've got some heavy rain up there and a few bolts of lightning, but nothing severe. Jacksonville sitting up there north of Anniston this morning with those showers and thunderstorms up there as well. I'm only seeing a couple of strikes in the last couple of minutes up there just north of Jacksonville. But nothing severe across any portion of Alabama or Georgia. The only weather statements we are seeing this morning is going to be for this stuff over in Mississippi. Let's see if we can switch to Columbus. We do have a special weather statement for this storm just north of Columbus, just south of Tupelo, that will end up in West Alabama, probably somewhere around Tuscaloosa in an hour or so. But that's the only statement I see this morning. There are no watches or warnings. We just got some strong thunderstorms out there. And yes, you should remain weather aware throughout the morning, but at the moment, we're looking pretty good. Okay, Miss Wanda, I'm going to send you some information here in just a few minutes because I'm about to wrap this up. And then I'll get you a link where you can go take a look at the different levels of support, and you just pick out what you want and go ahead and get signed up. And then all you have to do is send me your artwork or direct me to your Facebook page, and I can get it from there. And we can have you started by the time we do our next live broadcast or by the time we do our next primetime forecast, whichever may come first. And I hope it's our next primetime forecast because I hope we don't have to do severe weather anymore today. But we'll see. We're going to be watching this for you throughout the remainder of the day. We appreciate you folks being in here with us this morning. We've been going for almost 2 hours this morning, not because we have severe weather, but because I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that we do have some strong storms in the area, but they are below severe limits. The thunder and the lightning is pretty intense this morning. And that thunder is just carrying on forever. You can hear it from a long way off. It sounds extremely intense. It's very loud. That's because of the particular type of weather setup that we have this morning. And this stuff will continue through mid-morning at least. It may take as long as noontime to completely get all of this stuff out of here. And then we'll only have about a 20% chance of a shower this afternoon, maybe some more thunderstorms this evening. And then on Sunday, I'm hoping that we're able to do sunrise service tomorrow morning. Right now, I think so. And then in the afternoon, probably after about 3 p.m., we're going to have another one of these thunderstorm complex move through. And it's going to be stormy late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. across East Alabama and West Georgia. And, of course, we'll have coverage for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. If you don't mind, please send us some of those Facebook stars that help support us here at Dr. Don's Weather. Or you can also go to drdonwx.com. That's our home in the World Wide Web. You will see a donate button there on the upper right-hand corner of our home page. You can also download the Dr. Don Weather app from our website at drdonwx.com. And I will give you that link right quick. There it is. All you have to do is click on it to help support us here at Dr. Don's Weather. We appreciate you joining us. If something were to change and if we need to come back and give live coverage, we certainly will here on Dr. Don's Weather. Be weather aware for the rest of the morning. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I'll catch you back in here next time on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all have a fantastic Saturday.